Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Colorado's real estate authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. We air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or search for it on podcasts like iHeartRadio, etc. Barb, what's in store for today's show?
Well, Richard, I get this question a lot when I meet with home sellers. They want to know what they should do to their home, what improvements should they make that will increase the value of their home before they sell it. So that's part of the services that we provide. So we'll be touching on that subject on the first segment. And then the second one is about inspections. For some reason, it takes up a lot of my time to deal with the other agents' buyers' inspections for various reasons, scheduling problems, what they find, what the inspectors find, whether or not what the inspector asked for is legitimate. So we'll talk about that in depth. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. And then the third topic is the mistakes that agents make once their buyer goes under contract. I think you'd be surprised at some of these. I think part of it is that there really is no job description for a real estate agent. So every real estate agent defines their own job based on what they think they're supposed to do. And it's getting very interesting on what's going on in my world. So I'll share some of that with you. I think you'll enjoy it. And then the very last topic is how to actually get multiple offers on your home, even in this market that's relatively flat, not as robust as we'd like it to be at this time. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
Barb, in this market, there are many more homes that are not selling. So, what are the 5 keys to getting the most money when you do sell a home?
Well, Richard, kind of set the stage on what's going on in the market. It's not a full-on seller's market, meaning the seller has an advantage. That was going on from, say, the end of 2020 all the way through the middle of 2022. And then when the interest rates more than doubled, it absolutely had an impact on the buyer's ability to buy. So we've got fewer buyers that can afford homes right now. And this morning I checked and rates bumped up a pretty good amount, almost over a quarter, almost a third of a point in just a day. I don't know what caused it, but rates absolutely do affect the buyer's ability to afford the house. That's why you'll see a lot of builders, even sellers, offering a buy down on the buyer's interest rate to make it more affordable just to get their home under contract. So what we're seeing in some of the different areas around the Front Range, El Paso County values are gradually heading back up. The number of available homes is going back up, though, and the average days on market has dropped a bit, down to 82 days. In Douglas County, we've seen a flattening of prices. Right now, the median list price is $875. Average days on market are dropping, though. It's a good thing, and inventory is going up. Now, some of that inventory rising really is seasonal. Here we are in April. Very soon, the summer is going to be upon us. So we're going to see more and more homes go on the market. In Teller County, prices are going up a little bit. Days on market are longer. They're 121 days. And I really feel like Teller County's season happens, it peaks out in the summer when it gets so beautiful up there and all the Texans come up and they have to have it. Also, some areas like Highlands Ranch, we're seeing the prices kind of waggle up and down right now. It's down with the average days on market only 44 days. Aurora, the prices are slowly heading up with the average days on market 139 days. That's long, possibly because there's a lot of new construction competition in that area. So you have to be really aggressive if you're a home seller selling an existing home and competing against new construction. And that's the key across the board. If you're selling now, you must be priced what I call very realistically, or it is likely, even if your home price matches very similar sales, it could sit on the market because the buyers are looking for deals right now. And that means fewer showings, fewer offers, and it takes longer and longer to sell. But if you want to wait for that, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had some home sellers that just say, well, nope, I'm going to stay the course. It's okay. They certainly can if they want to. And it's just going to take more time to get that home sold. And what I see on the buyer front is the buyers kind of are sitting on the sideline, sort of waiting to strike until either the rates come down or the prices come down. I don't think the prices are going to come down that much. I think if anything, they're going to be relatively flat. And the rates could come down. I'm optimistic that that might happen, but it still won't be substantial. We're not going to see 3% interest rates again. I would be real shocked if that happens. So don't wait for rates to go back down to 3% because it's just not going to happen. Plan on maybe negotiating to get your interest rate down using a buy down by as much as 1% and budget for that. In general, consumers are pretty sensitive to interest rates, at least in the lower price points. I don't see that so much in the luxury market. The luxury market I'm seeing, it doesn't seem impacted at all by rates. So there are different things that you need to do to get the most money when you sell your home. And I think people will be surprised. Not every home has to be remodeled. You don't have to make it look like HGTV. I was in a really great house just this past week that was built in the 70s, and it wasn't extremely updated, but it was in great condition. That's the key. Buyers want move-in ready. It doesn't have to be brand new. It doesn't have to have a white kitchen with quartz counters. That's not required unless your competition looks like that. And then that's a different discussion. So that's part of what we do is we sit down with home sellers. We take a really good look at what their current competition is, what their similar sales are, and give them a really good idea what their home will sell for, plus some ideas on what they should improve to put their house on the market. And that's part of what we do. And photos, once it does go on the market, is absolutely critical. You can just as easily repel a buyer as you can attract a buyer with photos. So you have to make sure you get that right and make sure you hire the person that knows really how to market this home and has solutions for buyers that come to your house that have a house to sell. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And what we're talking about is how do you plan on any kind of improvements to get the most money for your home? Now, we can definitely help you do that. And then in the next segment, we're going to talk about some ideas to help you do that. If you are thinking of making a move, we have over 28,200 buyers just on my little website looking for homes. Typically, we can match a whole bunch of buyers to your home. And we can sit down and show up with cash offers. That way you have choices on how you want to approach the sale of your home. I just met with a home seller this past week. They're looking to buy another home, and I gave them a whole bunch of choices that made them feel confident going forward on what are the options that they have to make their next move. So all you need to do is call us 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
We're here talking with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and you can reach Barb at 719-301-3900. Barb, we're talking about how to sell your home for the most money. So what are some other things that actually increase the value of a home?
Well, you have to just focus on what you can control. There's some things that home sellers cannot control. Of course, they cannot control the location it's currently in. They can't really control what the neighbors are doing, although it'd be nice, but they can't. And they can't control whether or not it has views, or they can't change the floor plan. It basically is what it is, but you can control three things: pricing, preparation, condition, and of course, picking the right agent to make sure it's presented the proper way. It doesn't necessarily have to be updated, but a home does have to be what I call move-in ready. So I have a lot of home sellers that'll say, well, can't we just give them a carpet allowance? And that way they can use that money to pick their own flooring. Maybe they don't want new carpet. Maybe they want luxury vinyl or something like that. And yes, there have been some cases where a home seller put in brand new carpet to sell their home and the buyer ripped it out and put something in right after they moved in. Okay, but you would have not gotten that offer if you didn't make the flooring fresh. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's what I see in reality. Buyers' offers, if you have any deferred maintenance, are going to come in exponentially lower than the cost to make that repair. I'm not saying you have to update and repair everything. I'm saying there's a couple of things that are key to get the buyer motivated enough to move in, drop their stuff, and then if they need to improve kitchens or baths, they can do that on their own time. But flooring for a lot of buyers is a deal breaker. I'll give an example. I have a really adorable inherited home that's under contract right now. And it was built in the 1960s. The kitchen is in the 1960s. The appliances are in the 1960s. I think the dishwasher is about maybe 16 inches wide, but they all work. It looked adorable. And the only update that I suggested that they do, besides address any peeling paint on the outside of the home, was to pull the old carpet off the gleaming hardwood floors. And it looked amazing after they did that. They didn't have to spend very much money and they got over asking price and multiple offers. So it doesn't have to be new, but anything that's broken or deferred really has to be corrected. And of course, pricing is critical. Pricing as well as the photos are your first showing online. Buyers are seeing everything around you on all those tech company websites. So they know the market probably better than most real estate agents. They know what's available, they know what they want, and they're going to try to get it if they like what they see. So you have to make sure that you price it right in order to motivate the buyer to just come see the home. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker on Your Real Estate Voice. Barb is your voice and the host of the program, Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. Barb's the owner broker. You can always reach her at 719-301-3900. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about how to get your Colorado house to pass the inspection. Don't miss that.